It's a trap!
It goes without saying that Batman is one of the most popular superheroes of all time. The man has no powers, he uses his wits, he uses his gadgets, and for some reason pretty much does this while having a bat fetish. I don't know what to tell you on that one. So the K-Crusader has appeared in a number of films, comics, and TV shows over the years, and most of the Bat media has been inspired by the comics. Some have done the comics justice, others pretty much take the source material in a different approach.
The Iceman cometh. You are not sending me to the cooler. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age!
Shut the fuck up! Do you know what shut the fuck up means?
But I'm gonna be honest with you guys for a second. The Dark Knight Returns is definitely a Bat flick that has been done right. The story of The Dark Knight Returns tells the story of a much older Bruce Wayne who has hung up his cape and cowl and has pretty much retired from fighting crime for 10 years. This happened after the death of Robin, aka Jason Todd. So this was a story that came out before Death in the Family, to where this is what happens if Jason Todd actually dies.
Switcheroo, I should have known.
So yes, in this universe, the Joker also kills Jason Todd, and since then, Gotham has been terrorized by a new group that are calling themselves the Mutants, as well as Harvey Dent pretty much going back to his old ways, and the Joker pretty much coming out of the woodworks that pretty much leads to Batman coming out of retirement. Old and still kicking, Batman still has to face off against Gotham's most wanted while being targeted as public enemy #1 by the police force. Now, we already know that there are two sides to Batman, the billionaire playboy by day and the crime-fighting vigilante by night. There have been different sources of media that manages to pull this off, especially the animated series, and I love the animated series. I've met Kevin Conroy, shut up. But I think what this film nailed was the duality of these two personas. In the beginning of the story, Bruce has been struggling with the fact that the mutants are terrorizing his city, and
You try to hold me back, but you're weak. You know it in your soul.
Bruce Wayne is pretty much staying in control. He's trying to fight off his other side, and then the other side is slowly winning as the film pretty much progresses. And just like that, the Dark Knight has returned. And throughout the film, we see Batman waking up to a world more dangerous and more threatening than the world he's ever known. And with that, he becomes more brutal in dispensing justice. That even in his age, he is a force that cannot be stopped and cannot be reckoned with. That's what Batman is. He is an unstoppable force that puts the fear into the hearts of criminals and villains alike. Only this time, he's not pulling any punches. Like, I know this film is PG-13, and I know they gotta pretty much dumb it down just so kids can see it, but guys, this film is brutal. Like, literally, there's like a bunch of arm snapping, bleeding, stabbing, neck breaking. Like, you thought that the Batman Arkham games were violent? Watch this shit. This is probably the most like over-the-top brutal ass shit that you would probably watch. Luckily, Batman doesn't have to fight crime alone because he's got a new Robin for his sidekick, aka Carrie Kelly. And to be honest, I don't know how to feel about this character. I mean, yeah, she's strong, she's spunky, and even saved Batman from his battle with the Mutant Leader and pretty much saved his ass a couple of times. But I wish they can add a bit more to her to where I can actually give a shit. I get that, like all the other Robins, they always follow Batman, but at least when we see Batman pretty much form some sort of bond with them, at least it's kind of like a surrogate father type of thing going on with them. Like with Dick Grayson, you pretty much see that, you know, he was a surrogate father to him, and with Jason Todd, it was the same thing, and then with Tim Drake, the same thing, and then when it came to Damian Wayne, he was actually a father. Probably not the best one, but I mean, at least he shows that he pretty much gives a shit about them. But this character, you don't even see that. And the way she becomes Robin is just out of the blue, to the point where it's like, really? That's it? Nothing, no speech, no bonding elements or anything? Just, really? Carrie just puts on the costume and then jumped around from rooftop to rooftop, and then all of a sudden she pretty much can do acrobatics and shit, and it's like, oh yeah, shit. She's perfect to be Robin. She helps Batman one time, and then she suddenly earns the right to wear Robin's costume, like, just like that. Apparently that's enough to say, oh yeah, this is the new Robin. I'm sorry. It's been a long time since I read the comics. I don't know. I just felt like there has to be more to her than just her just putting on a costume and then just following Batman around. I think Batman said it best when he pretty much sees her as a soldier, ready to take orders and ready to do what's necessary. Sure, you can make the argument that Batman only sees her as that, and she's obeying him like a soldier is without question, and even some of the other Robins can be like that too. I mean, we don't know, this is a different universe, and maybe if I pretty much go back and read up on this universe, maybe I can learn a bit more about it. But they also serve as Batman's moral compass. The reason why he's pretty much the way he is because of the fact that there's always Robin to keep Batman in check and to pretty much remind him what he stands for and what he's protecting, like the vow that he made to his parents. That's what Robin is supposed to symbolize, or at least any other Robin. They symbolize a change in him. At least that's where I'm going with it. I might be crazy. Maybe I'm reading too deep into this. Let me down in the comments below if I'm reading too deep into this. They serve as a reminder to keep him on the right path while helping him fight crime. Every time when a Robin either quits or is tortured or winds up dead, it serves as a testament to Batman's failures as both a mentor and a father figure. Hell, we don't even see them interact with each other that much to even call it a bond. He just tells her to do something and then she just does it. No questions asked. Save for a few times where she shows that she has concern for him, but that's only like, what, a minute? Wouldn't it be more interesting if we're given a scene where he talks to her about his past, about how he felt when Jason died, or that how that really made him feel, or how maybe that will inspire him to be a better role model to her, or to be a better hero at least, or to make her proud to be a psychic? No, nothing. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. And honestly, I think Carrie deserves a bit more than what she's given. That's my honest opinion. The villains in this movies are kind of, yeah, so-so. I love this film's version of the Joker and how without Batman he was just put in a catatonic state only to break out of that once upon hearing Batman's return to Gotham and whatnot, which was probably like the most funniest thing to me. Like seeing the Joker just like completely lose it and just not responding and just being in that state to where there's nothing left, and then next thing you know he hears Batman's coming out of retirement. Like a shot of life just like hits this man like he is like in heaven at this point. I love that. Joker was probably the most memorable because he had a reason for doing what he did in this film. To him, being the Joker was no point if there was no Batman to try to stop him, or in this case no Batman to f with. To him, it's like one big joke was missing the punchline, and when Batman re-emerges, Joker goes right back to his old self. And then seeing the Joker go on a killing spree to get Batman to finally go over the edge just to kill him, but he winds up just breaking his neck and paralyzing him, which led to Joker pretty much winning the ultimate battle between the two. As for the other villains in the movie, like Harvey Dent and the Mutant Leader, they were, you know what, I'm not even gonna lie, they weren't really all that interesting. As it turns out, Harvey fully gave into his dark desires with no hope of ever recovering, even with his face fully repaired by plastic surgery, and it just happens right the hell out of nowhere. At least with the Batman Black and White series, where it shows Harvey pretty much getting his original face back, at least there was some depth to it, and at least you can understand where he's coming from and how he's struggling with that duality. And that's going to be another one I'm going to talk about, but at least it gives you a reason of why you should give a shit. Here it just happens right out of nowhere. He just has his face fixed and he's speaking to the press about his recovery, and then just right out of nowhere he just goes right back to crime. No explanation, nothing. It would have been fine if they give us a scene to where we see Harvey Dent sitting down alone in a dark apartment, maybe just trying to cope with the fact that he's trying to keep his other side suppressed and whatnot, but it gets stronger and stronger, probably because of the fact that because he's a known criminal and he's got a record, he can't get a job as a district attorney anymore. He can't go and have a normal life. He can't go out in public like he used to. Like, his whole reputation is ruined. They could show us all of this happening. I know it's going to make the film longer, and I know it's not going to be the main point of the movie and everything, but at least give us something to where we can get a general understanding of why he's changed and why he feels like there's no point anymore. Just give us that. At least it would give us a better understanding of him, at least, or at least a better understanding to those who don't know Two-Face's personality. That's my personal take on this. Harvey's revelation was never given much time to understand just how deep his evil side runs, like how rudimentary deep that this is. Hell, even in the short that I just mentioned, Two of a Kind, I recommend you watch that short. It pretty much explains a strong inner duality within him, but there's nothing here. And as for the Mutant Leader being the new villain to Batman in this universe, he wasn't all that interesting to me either. He kind of reminds me of Killer Croc and makes me wish we could have gotten Killer Croc to be the leader of the mutants. I mean, wouldn't that have made sense at least? He's a mutant after all, and maybe like 10 years after Batman's retirement, he's gotten stronger, more vicious, kills and eats people at random. Hell, even in the Arkham games, he scares the ever-living piss out of me. But nope, we got this fool.
You don't get it, son. This isn't a mud hole. It's an operating table, and I'm the surgeon.
Yeah, badass. And now let's talk about the highlight of the film, the inspiration that gifted us with the disappointment that was known as Batman beats Superman, which was the throwdown between the Dark Knight and the Man of Steel. Now, this was probably where every comic book fan, mostly Batman fans, would get the idea that Batman would kick the ever-living shit out of Superman, despite the fact that he uses a mech suit, despite the fact that he nearly gets killed during this entire fight, and also despite the fact that he had to use a kryptonite-tipped arrow in order to weaken him. It was Batman's unstoppable willpower that made it worthwhile to see a mortal man take on a godlike being. Let's just say the conflict between them is a lot better and represented in this film than it was in Batman beats Superman. In all honesty, The Dark Knight Returns is definitely a great Batman story that gives a more grim look at the Caped Crusader, making it a bit more memorable. So if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend watching it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to get notified for more content. I'm gonna try and watch a bit more Batman movies. I'm probably gonna watch Lego Batman. This is Crazy Kent. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'm out. Peace.